chapter restart, chapter
Yeah, or just like invigorating or getting a little more lifeblood.
invigorating. Can you spell that?
I am invigorating. INVGORATING. That's how I spell it.
What does it mean in my language?
It means making it better.
Yes.
Okay. Giving it 3 cups of coffee. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Double espresso. Shut it.
I think that's a quad. Yeah. We might need more chairs.
They're here.
Will come.
Someone can have my chair.
I
Stand.
think for the moment.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you.
So I'm Alex. I'm from Hawaii, so I've recently started from that November.
Prague, right? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, before I actually started able to use it, I also decided just to start my
Uh-huh.
contacts actually developing, and I'm very happy and proud of it. So
That's
I'm
great.
here to, well, first of all, to get to know everybody,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, to learn the experience, which was previously here, so to make it successful as well.
I'm going to call that's a good one. Call that best practice. And all that means is I know a lot of seasoned chapter leaders in here that have been chapter leaders and run very successful chapter leaders for years and years and years. And so they have experience that they'll share about sponsors and speakers and events and all that. And so trying to figure out what's the best way to do things, I think is what you're looking for. What does everybody else do? Great.
Hi, my name is Steven from Belgium. And actually, I'm just here to proxy leaving.
Okay. Who's downstairs stuffing bags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he already left. I think he had another meeting.
Really? Okay. Coward. All right. No, leaving, not you.
So I'm Greg. I'm originally from the U.S., but I'm working in the UK, Capital One. That we've spoken before. I was active in the Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia chapters before coming over to the UK. And I'm here mainly to see if there's a possibility of breathing some life into some of the UK chapters, which seem to be very active.
There are a lot of chapters in the UK. Where are you located?
I'm in the East Midlands
Okay.
area.
Right. So
So
there,
I joined the London group and the East Midlands group and the Belfast group,
uh-huh.
and they don't seem to be very active
Okay.
in general.
Well, Belfast is new.
Sure. Come on in.
Come on in. Here, someone can have my chair. And there's a seat up here. I don't know how to get my chair down there, but Martin promised me this was the biggest room we had available. So, is there a way I can kind of move this down there?
One sit. Yeah.
And if you want, you can get some chairs across the hall.
It's yours.
No, it's yours.
So when were you in the DC chapter? Who was,
Well, DC just restarted again
right.
right before I came over here.
Okay.
And I was active in Northern Virginia for about 4 years, and then Philadelphia before that.
Okay.
Yeah, DC just got kind of.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah.
They're doing great. I'm trying to encourage AppSec DC again, and they're like, "Sure, we'll do it, but get somebody else to actually do
Are you
it."
talking to Rinaldi Rampton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, and a couple of the other guys out there. So
Sorry.
hopefully we'll get it happen. That's my hometown.
Okay.
Yeah. So you, the black,
Me?
got the hair. You, Dirk.
Yes. You can call me by name.
Dirk.
Yeah, my name is Dirk. I'm from Germany. I'm a chapter lead in Germany since April or so. I've been helping the German chapter and also I've also other activities having the German chapter since 2010.
Okay. Anything in particular?
Yeah, well, Germany is a special population because we just have one chapter.
Uh-huh. Right, but didn't you usually, like, there's the Germany chapter, right? But in the last couple months, there's actually satellite chapters, which is kind of interesting.
Well, in Germany, we don't call them chapters, we call them Stammtische, which is basically institutions.
Satellite chapters
No,
there, but
well,
German.
it's just
Yeah.
places where
Right, little
almost
meetups.
People like
Yeah.
interested in meeting up.
that's an interesting concept because Germany's doing it one way, and I think, you know, they have the same thing going on in Spain, and I think UK is probably in the same boat, where you have like a centralized organization and then, you know, lots of different meetups and opportunities for people to connect locally, and then you still have the main chapter. So,
Well, I mean, the basic idea is that the most important thing on a regular basis, monthly basis, is just to meet
uh-huh,
and talk to each other and also listen to talks, right?
Yeah.
So, but the organizational roof is national. So
Yep. It's great. I like it.
I'm Anne Rakuya Robbins, and I'm from the Washington, D.C. area. I participated a little bit with Brooklyn chapter and a little bit with the D.C. chapter.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you're hoping to get from today's conversation, or
On chapters?
Yeah. Nothing in
Just here.
particular? Okay.
Just here to listen.
That's fine.
I'm Sebastian Leersnijder. I started the chapter in Belgium about 10 years ago. I'm here to find out people that are interested in restarting or starting a new chapter or revising a chapter in one of the countries that I can help.
Great. I think we have someone for you.
I'm Paul. I'm the executive director for Owasco Foundation. So I'm here to meet all of you because I think I've been doing some emails. I know I have with this man right here. So, yeah, and some of you, have asked for money and the requests, and we can talk about some of that. And then on the student chapters, how we can help some of the student chapters, and how some of the people that we have on the staff can also help invigorate some of the chapter activities and things like that.
Yes, sir.
I'm Lucian. I'm the chapter leader for Cluj, the second chapter in Romania. We had our first chapter meeting in January, 150 people, which is good for a 300,000
That's fabulous. That's great.
citizen city. And definitely first meeting, so I'm open to
Okay.
listen.
Great.
Hello, I'm Juana. I'm from Bucharest, Romania. I'm the chapter leader. And I've been running this chapter since 2010.
She's very modest. She's done a fantastic job. She took absolutely nothing and has turned it into, and they have events, social events, partner agreements, outreach events, and has really done a lot in the region. I know you have a good team also, so just wanted to throw that in there because you're very modest.
Yeah, my name is Johanna Cordiel, and I am a chapter leader of Curacao.
Okay. Anything you're hoping to pick up tonight?
Yeah, we have some challenges, but the question is, how we can improve the chapter part, because I find it very hard.
Yeah. Best practice. Good. Okay, and you.
Yeah, I'm Jocelyn from Luxembourg. I'm the chapter leader of this small country. So I'm here because I'm at the conference, but also for discussing best practices, because it's quite tough to involve people, other people from the board.
Yeah.
So I'm quite often alone. So I would like to have some ideas to be
All right.
proactive and
All right.
try to have
You
some
need a
help.
quad espresso. Yeah. Good.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm from Dublin, in Ireland. I'm not a chapter lead, but I'm just here to listen and hopefully learn.
Okay. Welcome. Did you sneak in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm David. I'm also from Ireland, in Dublin chapter. And again, like Rob, I'm just an active member, but I'm here to listen and take back anything. I'm sure there's many interesting and useful bits of information that we can take from today.
Awesome. So great. That.
Hello, my name is Ermir. I'm from Czech Republic. I would like to say that I'm not a chapter leader, but actually a pretty new OWASP member, and I would like to just learn some new information and learn how I could contribute to OWASP community in my free time.
Great. We're happy to have you. Sir?
Yeah, my name is Gotomeeting from Amsterdam. I got an invitation by email, so I was curious to see what's about.
Thanks for coming. You in the back, standing.
Yes. No, I'm Justin Searle. I have to take off in just a minute, but I'm from the Salt Lake City, Utah chapter, so I help do the chapter.
Great. Standing in the back.
I'm Wojtek. I'm chapter leader of Poland.
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm co-leader of OWASP East Sweden. One of 4 chapters in Sweden.
That's the newer, right? The newer chapter.
That's one of the newer, I think.
Right, because there was Sweden, and then just like
Sweden, Stockholm.
Yeah, a lot of new chapters coming up.
And then also got like Gothenburg.
Great. And what was your name?
Gustav.
Fabulous.
Yeah, my name is Tony. I'm also co-chapter leader of Sweden.
Awesome.
My name is Luis. I come from Ecuador. I used to be part of a member of OWASP Ecuador, and then I moved to France. I went to a couple of meetings in France, and now I'm a project leader. I'm in the project, and I'm just very interested about what's going on in OWASP.
Awesome.
Our community.
Awesome.
And also came from the happy hour.
Okay, great.
I'm from South Africa, and there is a chapter in my country, but I don't really know what the outfit. So I'm thinking of starting one in my city because I organize some like things and
That's great.
to get more people involved in the lives of my country.
Fantastic. Great. Did I miss anybody? And sorry, follow you.
I'm Fabio. I'm part of the OWASP Global Board, and I'm here, to facilitate or help you guys, have those wonderful activities in your chapters. So that's the reason I'm here.
And I realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Kate Hartman, part of the OWASP staff. So my job is to help you all be successful. So if you got the invitation, I think you got it from me. So thanks for coming. And so you have my email. We have the contact us form. And if there is anything that you need, questions that you think of later on, like, oh, I wish I'd asked that, or oh, I wanted to ask this, but not in the crowd, just let me know how I can help you. And if there's processes that we need to develop, can work with Paul and the rest of the team to help you guys out. But everybody in this room is the reason I'm here. So thank you all for being part of the OWASP community. With that, I turn it over to Fabio, who has something very, very cool and very new to share with everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Hot off the press, right?
Hot off the press. Yeah. We sort of opened up this new platform called Slack. I don't know if you heard about it. And it's something new in the OWASP community. So Sergey in Australia, just to show that this is like a global community. I love the idea that you guys are from all over the place. Set up this platform that now has 126 members, and it's growing steadily. The idea is that you could use that platform to organize chapter activities, to organize project activities. It's like a platform to share knowledge and ideas. I don't know, for those who are familiar, probably this is something not new. But we set up a couple of channels. You could set up your own channels. So a couple of chapters like Austin, Bangalore, Melbourne, they already established their chapters. And it's like a channel. So you could just join the channel and then start a conversation there. And you could just literally talk with all the members that are listed there. There are integration like features or functionality that will allow you to, I don't know, launch Hangout or have a bot. Matt, you had experience with the bots, right? So I don't know if you want to say a couple of words about the bot and the functionality of the bot.
I have nothing to do with bots on Slack, just to be
right.
clear. Like,
yes.
Where I work, we actually use HipChat because our team is all over the world, quite literally. And so we use HipChat, and we wrote a bot that sits in the HipChat channel, and then you can ask it questions. For us, it's AppSec stuff, so I can say, hey, this app, how many vulnerabilities does it have? And I'll reach in a thread fix, pull out the counts, and tell us this app has so many vulnerabilities, which my manager particularly likes when the app team calls and says, hey, how's our app doing? Here's what you got. And then we also set up things to where we actually do integrations. So you can actually set up a new app, and we use check marks, and then thread fix, and another app or inventory is just by saying, new app, give the app name, give the stash URL, and then just some magic happens. It's already added to check marks. It's in Bo, which is our inventory app. It's in thread fix, and we set up automatic scanning. I had to watch that repo and actually do scanning on a regular basis. So there's really cool integrations you can do to like automate silly processes that you otherwise have to do manually.
Okay, thanks. And like, yeah, the stuff that you could like, it's like a Pandora box. You could do whatever you want with the bot. Like we're playing around with sort of what is the OWASP top 10 number 2, and the bot will tell you, okay, this is the OWASP top 10 number 2, broken authentication, etc., and you get like the response straight away. So there are plenty of opportunities here to build up scripts that will help out. I don't know, like how to set up a chapter, or how do I get funds for a chapter, and like that the bot will sort of automatically give you answers on how to do that. I know you were talking about this potential opportunity of ops being using this tool and having like as a platform to interact with the community.
Right. Well, what you had said is that we might be able to automate some Q&A. So
yes.
Like a lot of the questions, like the one you said, what is the top 10 too?
Yes.
I know from a staff perspective, we get some repeated questions, and I think it's a good idea to be able to kind of automate the answers and send them out.
Yeah.
Also, we get on staff, we get questions. We have no idea what they're asking. My favorite is, what is a fuzzy fuzzer, or something to that effect. And I asked Kelly, I said, Kelly, any ideas? And she goes, I don't know, send it to Simon. So that's what we did. So there are some, I think there's some potential for us to trigger some code words and, some things so that you get answers a lot faster than you would if, we have to kind of intervene and figure out who's the best resource for you to go to.
Okay. And like one of the beauties of this platform is that it integrates with other services as well. So some of these might sound familiar, like Asana, Bitbucket, Box, etc. There is one, again, I was talking with Matt about Trello. Yeah. Yeah. And is it useful for, say, task management? So if you're organizing an event, like think about the chapter, right? You have a chapter and plenty of activities needs to happen, like getting the venue, getting the food, the logistics, getting a speaker. So all those activities could be sort of automated, and you have like, they are channeled through this platform, and it's easier for your co-leads to actually organize all those tasks that at the moment is like a bunch of emails going around. So it's like a more organized way on doing that.
On Trello, I know AppSec USA last year used Trello to organize their conference. And I know from a chapter leader perspective, I think Trello is a great way to delegate.
Yeah.
Meaning assign tasks to other people so that you're not trying to do everything yourself. And you can kind of keep track of who's doing what and who said, yeah, I'll do that. And then actually follow up with them.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just basically adding that integration here, and then you could use Trello in your own channel. Other, what's that? It's hosted on Heroku, the whole Slack, and we're looking like at the managed sort of service with Amazon or similar to actually host it somewhere. But yes, at the moment it's like a hosted platform in Heroku. Yes.
Because for example, we for the EU conference 2013 in Hamburg, we did self-hosted red wine.
Okay.
There were also contacts from sponsors in there.
Right.
Stuff which you can with third parties.
Okay. And are you familiar with that platform? Is that
Redmine? Yeah, it's a you can use it like you use Trello.
all right?
Oh, and other stuff too.
Okay, so it's a similar platform.
Similar platform.
Okay. Okay.
Trello is a software or is Trello a service?
It's a software as a service.
It's a software. Yeah. There you go.
Can you install it on your machine also?
No, it's a service. Like you access like a web platform and you set it up, etc.
Sorry about questions.
Yeah, but thinking about AppSec EU 2016, Siva, I think we could just think about using those sort of tools to. Yeah.
I've seen open source alternatives to scale out like a configuration
Sorry, what's that?
Like open source alternative for data that you can host yourself that I saw recently.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but the platform is here. Other uses that I really like was for example, Simon. Simon is the SAP project leader. And when we said, like, okay, we'll launch this platform, he loved it. From the minute we said, this is platform, this is going ahead, and he built up a lot of interfaces. So if you are, say, a pen tester and you want to know absolutely everything about SAP developments, now he established like a GitHub interface that you get all the new sort of releases. You will get a notification. Also the Twitter account, you will get all the notifications about any activities related to SAP. So thinking about chapters and that you have your Facebook pages, your Twitter accounts, etc. This is a great platform to just go in and see all the activity related to your chapter. So that's another potential way of using it. So that's basically it. Like you could just join. You probably got that email that you just enter your email address and password and you're logged in. And then if you have any questions, just let us know.
So how do people get there?
There is the email sent from owaslack.com. Yeah, that's it.
owaslack.com?
owas.slack.com. Yeah.
So So go
Oh,
to
sorry. Yeah, or owas.herokuapp.com.
Dude.
Well, this is where you get the invite. You know, it's
Okay.
Heroku. Yeah.
Okay.
E-R-U
H-E-R-O
O
K-U.
K-U app. App. A-P-P. .com.
This one works.
Yeah, that it works. Yeah, yeah. So it's one or the other. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Yeah.
Any questions for Fabio on this? It's hot off the press, very new. Everybody go home and sign up for it. Go back to your hotel room, sign up for it, and you'll be on it for hours. Promise.
Okay. What we're getting now is like volunteers or people who are interested in doing some scripting, or that wonderful idea. Oh yeah, I know how to automate this, or how to say code a script for the bot. There is a channel there, bot development, so you could join there and drop your idea. Okay.
Do you know what kind of scripting language is that?
I've seen a bit of JSON and probably JavaScript. Yeah. Dennis was playing around with it.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you. So, what I heard in the go-around is that there's a couple people looking to restart or re-energize or reactivate or anything their chapter. So I know that there are chapter leaders in here who have done that successfully. So I think if we kind of break it down into what makes a successful chapter, and then kind of work towards, okay, this is what I need to do, then how do I do it, and how do you guys do it? So I know I have my perspective of what makes a successful chapter, but I want to hear from you. Siva, I'm going to call on you. Because you have run a successful chapter in Belgium for a long, long time. So what is it?
We're quite lucky. In essence, in Belgium, we have quite a huge community. I think one of the key factors for running a successful chapter is finding good speakers. Because people will come for content. So content first. If they have good content, people will come. The rest is logistics. And in essence, in Belgium and Brussels, we do have quite some people that are local. If you don't have local speakers or there's not enough speakers, try to reach out to people that are in the countries or the chapters around you, to convince them to come over. There's normally also Kickstart funds to cover basic travel. But I think the first one, have a couple of good speakers, and from there on start planning.
Okay, that's good. So what is a good speaker? I mean, what is good content? Because I've heard
there's going to be good speakers in this conference in the next 2 days. So if you like what they're telling you, you think that that's of interest to the local chapter, go to these speakers and try to figure out where they're from and if they're in the neighborhood in the coming months, and try to convince them to come over. The more exotic your country is, maybe potentially more interesting. We always promise them chocolate and beer.
Oh yeah, that's number 2, right?
So it's, you have to trick them to
right? Luck, content, and beer, right?
Can I chip in there as well, Kate? Collaborations. There are other InfoSec, AppSec, security groups, whether they be on a European level, whether they be on a national or a regional. So there's obviously things like ISC squared chapters, there's ISACA, other professional bodies involved in security. From a Cambridge perspective, we often team up with BCS groups. In the UK, we've teamed up with ISC squared, as well as the IISP regional chapter in in East Anglia. So that's another way of sharing speakers. Have an open maybe have an IISP speaker. All that's, it also brings a larger group together as well, which is all good for sort of CPE points and all that sort of thing. Or sharing speakers. Something we've yet to do, that we've talked about, is if there's a speaker maybe in London, maybe we can steal in the next night in Cambridge or something like that. That's something we've still got to work on, that we've talked about in the past. Or maybe they can go up the North Corridor up towards Manchester and Simon can steal on the way.
Simon's usually the one being stolen.
Yes. I keep trying.
So no, that's great. To find out what's in your area, a simple Google search, or talk to your coworkers. One of the things that you've done also that you didn't mention that would affect you is connecting with the universities, right?
I mean, I'm lucky because that's the day job. So,
I know it is.
So that also means you, at certain times of the year, you have a guaranteed audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it also ticks another box that I can get students meeting industry as well. So it's a win-win situation.
But under, because he's taken over the student chapter program. So I think connecting with the student chapter and kind of becoming those students' trusted resource is going to, in the long term, help support your chapter and the organization as a whole. So engaging the students, when they're fresh. Yes, sir.
Right. If you have it together, you also need to do some marketing. Otherwise, I mean, also if you have great speaker and a good place to meet, people should know about it.
So how do you do that?
That's not an easy job.
No. How do you do it? Because that's important. Marketing is.
Well, send mails. I mean, as I said, in Germany we have basically one big chapter and local meetups, and every chapter, every town which is meetings and just an announcement or mailing list. Some use Meetup, Twitter, everything which we have. Just fire.
What's your experience with Meetup? Because I'm hearing more and more that it's a great platform to promote the OWASP chapter events.
I was using it once, and I was very surprised because I saw completely different people showing up.
Right. So you consider it like a success, or?
Yes. I mean, it's also not much money. It's like 50 euros half a year.
Mm.
We use Meetup in DC and Northern Virginia sectors.
It's from what I've heard, it's been really successful. I know I'm in Meetup primarily because of the DC and Northern Virginia chapters, but because I'm in Meetup and I put in a few code words, I get invitations to all kinds of groups. So if you're having an activity and somebody who may be new to Meetup doesn't know about you, they're going to get an invitation to attend, and that's a new.
In fact, in my hometown, we have a combination, let's say, with the technology community, and there are meetups every month, like 5 or 6 different meetups based on the Meetup platform, and every month in a steady cycle they do their meetups. So it's very promoting.
It's privacy standards.
Well,
so it's just something to be aware of.
Maybe we could collaborate with them.
And
Just that
Do you have a corporate license for that? No.
it's used actively for marketing.
They're asking questions here.
And maybe you don't.
On Slack.
Monetizing it.
So maybe mention.
Developers actually use Meetup a lot.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important comments I heard, that we are trying to outreach to the development community, and instead of keep sending emails to the OWASP leaders mailing list, like if Meetup is the platform for developers, we could cross promote our events in that platform. And I from what I heard, it's quite successful. Like plenty of people show up at the events.
And also you can organize events together with other groups, but not security related.
Right.
But for example, I was organizing last month I was meeting together with DevOps group.
Right.
Local DevOps group.
Right.
It was about 100 people in this group.
So you could organize the event. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this would be really good for the newer chapters. Yeah. They don't have an email list already built
yes,
up. Now
yes.
on Meetup, they kind of have a
exactly.
Yeah.
They can find local active groups because
right.
they can see how many people are coming up for the
right.
meetings.
There was a question there from someone in Slack, Reg, who says, can we have speakers over Google Hangouts for our chapter meetings? Absolutely. Like you could organize webinars or online chapter meetings as many as you want. So yes.
So just to piggyback on that, at the foundation level, we have some tools and resources in place for you to help with that. There's Google Hangout, and I hope you've seen some of the announcements in the connector that come out. I know Fabio's facilitated quite a few Latin America, like Hangouts in Spanish, and those have been very successful. We've had some other Google Hangouts. We also have the Goto platform, so we have Gotomeeting, which is sorry, Dirk. It's a platform where you send out an invitation and a link to your participants, and it can host up to 25 different attendees, and that's a very interactive platform. Sometimes it can get a little wonky because there's a great YouTube video that shows what a virtual meeting is like, and you get a lot of noise and a lot of background, and sometimes there's challenges with it.
Well, that's got the document sharing, right? The screen sharing.
Yeah,
so
the
that's
screen
important
sharing.
if you're going to be sharing something like that. We use it at the board level, but but something like Google Hangouts is nice because you got the video of the conference going on if you're not necessarily sharing documents or needing to review documents.
Another tool we have is GoToWebinar, which is part of the platform, but it's bigger. So if there's, like Jonathan Carter is going to do a webinar in June, and that will be announced. But that's a platform where we can have up to 500 attendees, and you can join from anywhere in the world. I know the Austin chapter uses the webinar platform to broadcast their local chapter meetings remotely. So that's another benefit of this, is not just having the speakers be remote, but you can also broadcast and record your chapter meeting and post it on the YouTube channel or whatever resources you want to use, so that people who may not know about you could find it. Yes?
Is that available to the projects as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, those platforms are available to the projects and the chapters. Right now, we have one, it's under chapter.leader at OWASP.org is the login, and the password is very secure. GO2 meeting. And I have freed up a seat, and I'm going to assign that to project.leader at OWASP.org as soon as I create it. And then that'll be for the project. Because I heard from Bart that there was some conflicts on the GoToMeetings. So if you're going to use these, it's important that you schedule your meetings so that you don't maybe bump up against another meeting.
I think what should be communicated is that you should specifically schedule for a certain time frame, because if you do recurring, it's not scheduled, and you don't see that actually there's the meeting going on. So you end up in clashing code. So setting up recurring should really not be doing that. And then you can really upfront
schedule specific times so that you know that other people know that it's already taken.
So another thing that you can do is, I hope everybody knows we have the global Google Calendar. You can schedule your meetings on the Google Calendar. And that way, if you have your Gotomeeting link or your GoToWebinar link and you post it on the Google Calendar, you can push an announcement out on the leaders list that you're having this meeting, and anybody in the organization can join, or they can forward the link to a colleague. So that's another way to just kind of get it out there and post those links on the calendar. If you don't have access to the calendar, send me a note. I'll make sure you get access. I had a train of thought, and I kind of forgot about it. One other thing I wanted to make sure everybody knew is that at the foundation level, we do have something called community funding. It's budget allocation specifically there for supporting new chapters, growing chapters. So Siva talked about bringing in speakers. We have funds to help you with that. So if there's a great speaker that's going to be in your neighborhood and he's like, well, I need someplace to stay, and you don't want him on your sofa, just send us a note through the contact us form is the best way to do it. And
Always on the move.
what's that?
Always on the move.
It's not exactly OWASP on the move anymore. OWASP on the move is the legacy name for it. But over the years, the foundation decided that there's more of a need for funding than just OWASP on the move. So OWASP on the move kind of grew into covering Martin's favorite thing. Martin Knobloch likes rockets, those foam rockets, right? So community funding, if you have a chapter or student chapter, Martin does a lot of student outreach and he takes those rockets. And I'm surprised that there hasn't been a law passed in EU somewhere against those rockets.
For example, if I set up a chapter, like a new chapter, and I don't have funds because it's a new chapter, so how can I bring a speaker to my chapter?
Sure. What you do is you contact your speaker, right?
Okay.
First, and then submit contact us. There's a link all over the website on the front page of the wiki. It's contact us, and you just tell us what you plan on doing and what you need, and then we'll take it from there, and we'll look at the scenario and get back to you with what we can do.
This is it, right? Contact us.
Just to say, I'm pretty sure a couple of you have already used these funds. They're generally for any chapter that doesn't have a big budget already or money already. I mean, like our New York chapter and some of these other places have thousands of dollars, so they have plenty of money to work with. But
who was using this chapter resources to fund speakers from abroad, for example? Because
who's using it?
Who of you were using this external or foundation funding?
A lot of people have used it. I don't know it would be a good idea to bring a speaker from abroad, just because that can be very expensive. I like Siva's idea of doing, finding someone who's in your neighborhood. I know a lot of leaders on the leaders list travel all the time. Jim Manico,
In Europe, it's not so expensive travel.
Right, within Europe is one thing. I'm thinking of US to Europe.
Yeah, you can have up to $500 to help move a speaker around for a hotel or travel. And if you've got a couple speakers, you can go up to $1,000. That's one of the things that Kate and I look at the requests and we approve them and away the money goes. I think there's 50 or 60,000 US set aside.
Yeah.
We only spent less than half of that and we're already halfway through the year. So there's money to, and the rule is if you have a budget for your chapter, that needs to be spent first. And this is usually for the chapters that are just starting or didn't get the benefit of an AppSec conference and all the monies that come from that. So I know that Philippines has used it. Some of the LATAM chapters have used this. I think a couple student chapters, we did allow some money for some student chapters up in the northwest of the US. So let us know. It's there. It's, you know, we're a foundation. We're not supposed to save money and put it in a chest, right? We spend it every month. We want to spend it, and grow the organization.
So, for example, if I wanted to organize a chapter, you need a venue.
And you need a what?
A venue.
To host the chapter.
Like a location.
As long as it meets the criteria.
Yeah. It's right there on, there's a web page there, the browse the website page.
Go to
Now
it.
it's up to 500 US because we need to share it amongst 200 chapters, right?
What's the?
And I think it's only once or twice a year you can ask.
It's right off of the front page. Funding.
And we also list there, you know, part of the policy is being very transparent. We also list there what money is being spent and who's asking for it. So you can see, and oh, look at that. They've done this type of activity. I should do that too. I have my bookmark.
It's here. Yeah.
And down at the bottom of the page, there's how to ask for it.
Okay. Application process. Yeah. Okay.
Request funding.
There it's it. Big and bold. You know.
So we want you to ask for money.
Yeah, and this is the reimbursement or the request form. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reimbursement request. So just a note about that: if you're gonna pay for something up front and get reimbursement for it, it goes through the same front approval process. So let us know before you spend the money that you're going to, and then when the reimbursement comes in, we're ready for it, and we can just take care of it.
Cool.
Another thing that I know chapters have done is ask their neighboring chapters for help. Go to the chapter page. So we post all of the chapter budgets or accounts or buckets on the wiki. And so in the UK, I'm just using it as an example. There are some chapters in the UK that have significant funds available to them, and they may or may not have plans for that money. So I wouldn't have a problem asking Fabio for money if for chapter activities, or, you know, Fabio, can you help send a good speaker over to us?
Where do I sign?
Most of the chapter leaders will say that. How can I help? What can I do to help you? So that's another way. If you don't have funding, look on the list. Do you see it? The donation scoreboard?
Here?
Yep. That lists out all the chapters and how much money is in their account. Also posted there are any transactions that a chapter has also done. So if you are a chapter who has money and you don't know what to do with it, you can look through what other chapters are doing. What is New York spending their money on? They have $20,000 coming in and out on a regular basis. So you can get some ideas on what you can do if you happen to be one of those chapters with over $5,000 in your account. So money is a good thing.
Yeah.
You're eating pizza, Seba. Does that mean there's snacks? Do we want to take a minute to get some snacks? Yes, sir.
Just something I was thinking earlier. You can also use Skype to screen share if you don't have access to the group. And I know you can set up groups on Skype. I'm not sure if the screen share works on the groups, but yeah, you can screen share on Skype.
That's a good point. Skype gets forgotten a lot, I think. So, way to point everybody hungry. You want to go grab something to eat? Maybe something to drink. They said they'd leave the coolers open in the coffee machine out there. So you could take a quick 5.
Okay.
And hope everybody comes back.
I leave my iPad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stay here. Other sources of income. for the chapters, like the
Getting there.
trainings.
I'm getting there.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Come on.
Sì, stasera fanno la verifica su 20 minuti.
Bene, qua.
On the, is it available for donation?
It was available. Check my last donations.
Non l'ho mai conosciuto.
I know some of it went to one on
Vuoi che ti faccio?
Some of it went where?
one. So we reimbursed one of them.
I remember that.
Yeah, but the rest should be there. And I am hoping to bring more people to the links directly. I mean, to the chapter, but otherwise the company I'm working for has donated a lot for the actual event. So it's like a direct donation.
How are you doing? Good to finally meet you in person.
Yes, absolutely.
I just have to leave shortly tonight. I'll get some more time, but I just wanted to check in with you and hopefully maybe I'll see you around tomorrow or Friday. You guys.
No, for you.
Oh, no, I'm good. Okay, so here's the chapter, and this little box here is checked. So it's on the membership list. So if somebody wants to be a member, they can check. Is there another place you were thinking?
No, I mean the actual funds. Which is still. No, I know it's.
Okay,
I know
all
it's
right.
there, but
Just checking, because sometimes that box isn't checked. Then I feel bad. Let's see.
Sorry.
Matteo, Cluj is actually the capital of Transylvania.
Yeah, we already just at work we have a
once or twice
developers meetup group and also an agile like SDLC meetup group, and they've been asking me to do some security talks in their groups.
I don't see it here.
Yeah, that's
what you're talking about.
And invite them to participate as well. You know, kind of somebody was mentioning about the cross-functional development.
I wonder. You said there was a donation.
There was a donation, yeah.
Do you know when?
Checkmarks. It was in January.
In January? I'll betcha.
Yeah, and it's new. Relatively new. Yeah, there's an active one. Yeah.
I'll bet you.
I went through
I bet you she got it all. So if that's supposed to be split.
Yeah, this is good. I'm gonna join this.
That's fine. I can work that out.
Ask her for money. She's
Yeah,
got lots of
She's got
money.
lots of
I see CK Tricky. He's
We'll work it out.
Because on this, I clicked on the thing, it says chapter transactions. So if you think you should have gotten a payment, these are everything that's going on in the chapter, including like membership donations. So let me see. No, it should be there. If you got it, you work hard for your money. I know if I had money and someone.
We got a guy from Tel Aviv to bring himself from Checkmarks.
They charge us too much.
Money.
Yeah, and I like to say that in the work context.
It's the
And then like,
is
this legit?
Is it real?
Yeah.
I bet Kelly knows.
Anyway, I gotta head out, but we'll be talking. We still talk about some business stuff.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
This is a story for a beer, I think.
Allora.
Thank you. Only until I can make catering for
Però la InfoSecurity questa lì immaginavo.
Allison knows everything. Financial. If you have a money question, Allison is your go-to. Kelly is sponsorship and membership. Allison is. CLUJ.
Yes.
Actually,
the
Bucharest
è grande. Non è, it's like Bucharest chapter is not going to be called Romania anymore.
Tu sarai lì con
Ti danno il Bucharest chapter. Change the main pages. So if you go to
No, quello diciamo, parlando sul serio dovremmo vederci, non so se oggi è vero, però possiamo vedere
anyway,
come
Chipmunk says
sistemare la cosa per quale io
promise to come back soon.
Okay.
We have one spot.
We're gonna talk about other ways to make money.
By the way, I want to mention for marketing,
rappresentare
it's very
qualcosa
easy to get marketing from the actual companies that are sponsoring it. So I got the marketing people in to do the marketing. And it was very well done because they're marketing. That's why I had 150 people attending.
I'm gonna have you say that out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
I think hearing it from you is I think it's for me. I would like to talk.
We just need somebody that knows that. And there's a calendar. Yeah, no, it's keep saying to Allison, what's the point? We do have marketing people. It's 0.
Sì, quello sarebbe allineato quello che avevamo parlato.
You want me to bring you tweaks
What's that?
whilst you're doing this? To bring you some.
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm not sure I ordered enough food, to be honest.
Facciamo.
Thank you, Ben. Why don't you go get?
I don't know. Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go. We've been summoned by the boss. So,
Summoned by the boss?
By the boss.
Who's your boss?
Oh, Kerry.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
That means the pubs are getting ready to close,
we're
right?
not sure what it is, but as we're not in Dublin, we can only presume it's going to be fun.
It's
So,
pub related, I know it. It's like influence involved.
so
I have a blackmail picture.
Oh, blackmail picture. Oh, I think we've got a few of them. We've got a few of those
So
going.
head to toe.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
Not
fine.
good, not good.
No, that was just good. It was really nice, actually.
Yeah,
Faces to lots of people that we see. And actually, the very first talk I went to when I was in college was Fabio back in 2012. And it was like, it was just an AppSec. It was really good.
AppSec EU in
No, it's not.
Sono roba, no, sono qua.
So it's speculated.
Lo so.
Yeah, no, it was good. So it's nice to actually see
Sono
how far
franco.
I've come as well as see how I've spread it forward.
No,
It's good to actually meet
Yep.
the people
Oh,
on
absolutely,
the
yeah.
leaders list. Yeah. You know, you get the emails and it's like,
No,
who is
I
this
want
guy?
money. It was not No, I emailed Mark 2 years ago. Yeah, and we talked for a while over email. It was nice, but I never met him even though
It's also good to know where people are from.
No,
Because, like I know Martin's communication style, he's German.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
You can tell.
so yeah, it's important to meet people face to face every once in a while, just so that you know, okay, this guy's not just me.
This guy, yeah, absolutely.
So I know I've been around for a while and I see some different leaders and I'm like, oh no, you did not do that.
Yeah. As soon as you meet people, everything else becomes quite easier. Yeah, as soon as you understand.
It's really a little warning. Has no filters.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, that's it. That was great. So looking forward to the next few days. See you then.
Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
See ya. Watch your step, don't touch. Yep.
Are you come gruppo di amici che siano messi insieme, no? È partita così, no? In quel senso io l'avevo
I can help, yeah.
Admin.
Yeah.
Can I somehow reset my password?
So the wiki password you reset by yourself.
Yeah, something changed lately. Something changed, like the interface or in the login like just
On the wiki?
yeah. So anyway, I registration
Let's see.
and because I have my OWASP mail connected to Gmail for 35 years, I forgot the password as well. So anyway, we can work it out.
So, you know your user ID?
It was until my name, I think I didn't remember my username. It was only the mail and password.
Email.
If I put email here, it doesn't work.
No, it wouldn't be your email.
Okay, what is the yeah, definitely it was email.
So you need your email password reset.
Both, yeah. And which is the current interface for OWASP mail?
Google, it's Gmail.
Yeah, but
Does he know Istanbul that okay. And that now she could 3 years worth of it. Forse trovare il bilancio. Sì.
So here's your email. You want me to reset this password?
Yes.
Do you want to do it since you're here?
Yeah, of course.
That way you know it?
You have a keylogger?
Do I have a what?
Yeah.
You have to retype it.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, nice to meet you. Avi Douglas.
Hi, how are you? Good to finally meet you.
Yes.
We went back and forth about
Quite a bit.
5,000 times on email.
Quite a
yeah.
lot, yes. Nice to meet you. So I just showed up. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. We'll do a recap.
Yeah.
Just
Another
taking
couple
a-
guys just showed up last week.
Yeah, just taking a quick break. I think Siva came in with food and everybody started drooling. So
Typically happens.
I had, yeah.
If you're not.
Okay, so your email password set.
So I can do for those password in the wiki with this mail?
You should be able to. It depends on what email is associated with your
This
wiki
one?
account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This the OWASP mail.
Yeah. So if your OWASP email is associated with your wiki account, if you just hit the reset password in the wiki, it should.
Yeah, normally, yeah, but last time I checked it was I don't remember putting like username in the
put all of our materials there.
Yeah. If you have any more problems,
yeah, okay, I'll try
I'll be right
it when I find the Wi-Fi here.
yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, it's public or
I don't know what it is.
Okay, because we had in the other building now. We don't.
There's Wi-Fi in the other building too. It's
Okay.
Congress at REI.
So we need to look at your schedule.
Yeah. I know that's over at the other building.
Okay.
Here it's Congress.
Ah, here.
And the password is Congress
You
at
need the
REI.
answer, but you need to give them the information by middle of June.
So let me try to wrangle everybody back in here.
Let's see what I can push on for next week. And that would give you 1 week or 2 weeks in June. Plus, you have that other companies that used to make full time now for once. System contract. So you're a good company that are associated and so they have to trade and they charge more because they give you contract. There's the price plus 30%. But they have some people that are helping us on and that's about half the price. So they need it because
I can start a second. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
That's what work needs. It's all reconciliation, nothing reconciliation.
Ναι, μέχρι την αποθέση του personal πάλι με οποίο σύμφωνα προλαμβάνει.
Because we moved all the accounts is on one laptop until last year broke. So for about 4 or 5 days. So this year we moved it over to the cloud. So in the case they drops or not snow or something, but at least we have the whole application. And our next step is to get it to the council.
Πιστεύω ότι το βάζει μικρό δαπάνη, γιατί αυτό που λες, ok, μπορεί να το φτιάξεις ωραίο, αλλά θα είναι μέχρι τώρα. Ενώ άμα το ξανακάνεις, παίρνεις το μάθημα που παίρνεις τώρα και βάζεις τα έξτρα feature που θες.
I think somebody stole your chair from me. Did you steal it back?
For sure. Maybe.
Some help. Flatline. We're talking about money because audio was introduced some training. Are you guys done that?
Yeah, during the Benelux days, I used to have the first day of training.
Okay. So I'm going to start with events and chapter meetings, training, and how to host a training event.
And what about work groups?
What?
Work groups? Maybe. Because, yeah, I had some person in Luxembourg. They daily use the OWASP resources, but they are willing to contribute. Yeah, I wonder if we can do something.
I have a phone call at 9 o'clock.
Oh, you do? Salesforce? Oh, never mind. Okay.
And after that, I'm hungry.
Oh, are you're not gonna go to that bar?
Not my thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Closing. All right. If I'm not out here, I'll be back in my hotel room.
You're not going to the bar? Why don't you go to the bar?
Carol went home. It's not till 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right, guys, let's try to get started. Had some folks come up with some really great questions during the break. Seems like we lost some guys, so everybody should be able to get a seat, which is great. So yeah, we talked about collaborating, meetups, some different social media sites. One of the things that was mentioned, is he back in the room yet? He's not back in the room. I could call on him, but he won't answer. So we figured out some content. We have ways to get speakers to our meetings. So how do we set our meetings up, and what does a meeting look like? And I think it looks like a lot of different things depending on what you're trying to accomplish in your chapter. So somebody said they had 150 people at their first chapter meeting. That's fantastic. There you are. You moved. You were sitting over there.
No.
That's why I thought you weren't back yet. Anyway, maybe it's me. So how did you get 150 people to your very first chapter meeting?
I was meaning to say that one of the companies that sponsored the event actually had marketing people, which is the marketing, right? So if you have marketing people available, you use the marketing people. That's much more effective than anybody else that's not doing marketing. Yeah, and for the third event, actually, we only had 35 people without any marketing help. So there's a comparison.
Yep. You know, I'm familiar with the DC, Northern Virginia chapters. Yeah.
I had only one meeting, but it was 100 people without marketing.
How'd you do it?
How did I do that?
How'd you do it?
Social networks and developer communities.
Developer community.
Developers, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm having the next meeting next week, and there's only 30 registered. So I probably the content wasn't okay.
Okay, so
it's difficult to say because it depends on the sun and weather and anything, venue sometimes.
But I don't require. Registration. Registration not mandatory for this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
one of the features of the Meetup platform is that you can ask people to RSVP. So I know that both DC and Northern Virginia, it's what I'm familiar with. They're on the Meetup platform, and it's like, are you going? Yes or no. Does anybody use any other sort of registration? How do you Eventbrite?
Works pretty good.
Okay. Does that anybody use anything other than Eventbrite?
SurveyMonkey.
SurveyMonkey.
Only because the university used it.
Okay. One of the things you might not know about Eventbrite is that we have a foundation Eventbrite account. So I know you're using it for your chapter meetings, and that's great, but there may be times where you want to put on events that have a fee involved. Maybe it's a track day or a training day, and you know you can charge as long as it's open. But if you want to do that, we can attach your email to the foundation account so that you're still not responsible for collecting any money, but you have all the familiarity of Eventbrite. So that's something to consider. And it brings up another thing I wanted to talk about. When I said, what does a meeting look like? There are lots of different types of meetings. I can tell you what I know, and then I'm hoping somebody will have some other ideas. But in the Northern Virginia chapter, what they do is they have a block of time from 7 to 9. And 7 to 8 is pizza and beer, and 8 to 9 is a talk. And that's it. I know that there are other chapters, though, that have a 4-hour block of time. Maybe they meet in the evening, maybe they meet at lunchtime, maybe they do different things. So what have people done that works best? What have you found? Anybody? Dirk? On you. I would have called on Seba, but he's trying to multitask. What worked?
I mean, I found your idea very interesting. To have first pizza and beer, and then talk. Maybe people start getting. I was wondering sometimes whether people rather are too hungry, go home to eat something, and then not late to come back.
Mm-hmm.
We offer something, food and drink, and then we thought maybe that's a good idea. We should try.
Yeah, DC does the same thing. They start with food and then have the talks. And I think what happens is that people start talking to each other and socializing, and you don't lose people. And people want to collaborate with each other, because a lot of the side conversations, that's where the important stuff happens, right?
Yeah, we do it vice versa.
Yeah.
First have a talk, and then that component talking to each other is still there.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell whether people just don't join because we start at 7 and it's foreseeable that they don't get anything to eat until 7:30 or 8. They want to skip the whole.
That's true. You also have to worry about the people that come in just for the pizza and beer and then skip out.
Maybe, yes.
I don't see too much of that.
Just use handcuffs and
zip tie, yeah. So, yeah.
So right now, I saw that Fabio just passed by some books. You go back to like the minimum amount of.
Yes, the minimum amount of local chapter meetings.
Well,
Yeah.
In my case, well, this is who is actually controlling this, because I'm sure nobody, because I had the last meeting like.
So go to the chapter page. It might be marked inactive.
No, I mean, do we have actively somebody looking into really controlling how chapters are doing? What is the status of at the moment?
Okay, so
I mean, what we're doing with projects, similar.
Sure. Yes is the short answer, but it's a little different than how you said it. It's not, do we have anybody controlling it? Because what we do is we do very often go through the chapter list and find out, okay, this chapter's only had one meeting since 1982. I think they're inactive. And what we do is we reach out to the chapter leader first, because it's not like a project where there's an expected deliverable.
Yeah, that's true.
It's more of an interactive and collaborative environment. So what we do is we reach out to the chapter leader and say, how's it going? What can we help you with? Is there something that's holding your chapter back? Do you want us to connect you with another chapter leader who might be having, more successful meetings? Is there something in the local area? And so what we don't shut them down, and we don't police. Mm-hmm. We encourage, and we try to find out what's the roadblock.
But in my case, like I
know,
said, I have
and your chapter page might be marked inactive. I don't know.
No,
I haven't looked
at
at.
See that. I didn't even check it. Like
and Noreen Weissel. Oops. Oh, found the light switch. Noreen Weissel is our community manager. She came on board. I guess at the end of the summer, and one of her primary roles is to interact with the chapter leaders. So she is also a great point of contact for things like that, and she will reach out to you and find out what's going on with your chapter. She's reached out to probably 70% of the chapter leaders so far.
So is that now chapters are being set as inactive? If there is something that they have, I mean, based on what, for example, nobody actually has contacted me regarding any activities. I believe the last activity I ever published through the wiki chapter page was maybe almost 2 years ago. However, I did have an activity like 8 months ago. But I have another challenges than my colleagues here because I live in an island. So no matter where, I mean, I
You could have a virtual chapter.
Yeah, but I live in an island, and the problem is that the countries around it do not speak the same language.
Yeah.
So
that happens in Latin America.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean,
yeah.
Spanish is not our language, and I cannot bring speakers in Spanish because nobody will understand the whole concept. That's my challenge.
So I know that Noreen has been reaching out to the chapters that look like they're inactive. So she starts with to reaching out to the chapter leaders. Hello, are you still there? You know, because we have names on the wiki pages of all the chapter leaders, but some of them have disappeared. So if there's no activity and no chapter leader, that would be marked as inactive. In your case, though, you're there and you're talking with her, even if there's not a lot of activity, she's not going to be a policeman and mark it as inactive. So she was first just.
Well, I believe that, but it's more like nobody has reached. I was just one. Of course, it's a lot of work, and I know that she has recently begun with. So it's not judging any of that. It's just like I was wondering if that was also part of anyone's task at the moment. It's just that.
Yes, her job is to reach out to all the community, 200 chapters. But no, her job is not to be a policeman. It's just, it's more important to encourage, and that's like
Absolutely.
what this meeting is about.
That's the goal, right?
How do we make it grow?
Yes.
Does that answer your question? What language do you speak?
Dutch.
Dutch.
And if, of course, English is after the Dutch. So whoever comes, we want to have it in English, not in Spanish. And IT Spanish, that one of my mother languages is Spanish, and I don't even have grip on IT Spanish.
Sure.
I don't understand that. So for me, it's even a challenge, and it's even worse for people in my country that don't even have enough knowledge of Spanish. And most of the people.
Sure, there are people here who speak Dutch.
Yeah, but they have to fly 9 hours to my island, so and you know that tickets.
Well,
they would love to go.
So that
like yourself,
so that would be a great opportunity for a remote speaker.
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangouts or
I tried that.
Did you?
And 2 chapter leaders just let me flat. It was horrible. That was my last experience. Yeah, we'll do it. And then people came. Of course, we're a small island, so small community, but there were like 8 guys.
If you invite me, I will learn Dutch.
So for me, it's like commitment too. And then suddenly nobody was online, and I was so ashamed. But yeah, that was my last experience, and I was happy that I had a visit of a project leader and my island because he came on vacation, and that was nice.
Yeah.
Yes, that went very well. But
what time zone is your island? What time zone is your island?
Time zone, La Paz. I don't know if you look at computers, like we are at the same time as Caracas.
GMT.
Miami. I would say if you look at Miami.
GMT minus 5 probably.
GMT minus 4.
4, okay.
GMT minus 4.
So someone talked about the spending guidelines, and I was just browsing through the chapter leader handbook, which is a great resource for everyone who is, getting involved in organizing chapter activities. These are typical sort of, expenses like meeting venue rental, refreshments for a meeting, promotion of a meeting, always merchandise. All those are fully authorized. You will get reimbursed. You could use your chapter funds towards this. At the same time, we're talking about, funding models for the chapter. So you have the membership. So you could promote membership in your chapter. You could promote training in your chapter. Like if you organize like a local or regional event in your chapter, you could have some funds that are generated of that training and goes towards your chapter. So there are plenty of ways to also get funding for your chapter and, having more flexibility in terms of doing activities in your chapter.
Has anybody here hosted a training day? No?
Quick chapter house.
Yeah? How'd it go?
It was long ago, and it went very well. It was 100 or more than 100 people.
There's a couple different models for training. There's the paid kind of classroom training, which is similar to what we do here. And then I don't know if anybody has seen Dennis Cruz's model, which is, it's really a great model. He called it OWASP Day, and he would get I don't know, 5 or 6 chapter or project leaders together to do a series of talks on OWASP tools or on OWASP projects. So it was kind of a teaser introduction to OWASP, and it really did a lot for outreach there. And then membership, paid member can allocate 40% of their membership fee, and that goes directly to your chapter. So if I became a paid member and chose Luxembourg as my home chapter, 40% of my membership dues goes directly to Luxembourg. And the same goes for corporate members. So a corporate membership is $5,000. If your chapter is responsible for bringing that corporate member in, or if that corporate member says, hey, I want to support the Luxembourg chapter, $2,000 goes to the Luxembourg chapter. And that becomes, eligible for those spending guidelines. Local events, if you wanted to host a local paid event, I think you did something like this, Juana, right?
No.
No?
No. All events were free.
Well, good for you. I know that chapters host local one-day events. 90% of any revenue collected for the local event goes right back to your chapter. With training, it's similar. It's considered an event. So generally, the foundation has an agreement with the trainer for a 40-60 split. So if it costs $100 for the training, the trainer gets $40 and the foundation gets $60. You may enter into an agreement with a trainer who says, you know what, I love you guys. I'm going to do this training for free. And then your chapter gets 90% of any fees collected. So, but it's important that if you're going to do that, make sure those fees are run through the foundation, either through the Eventbrite account, or we can set up different.
Yeah, it's something that I would like to, sorry, Kate, for the interruption, but I want to highlight that if you want that visibility of your local regional event, you need to go through the OCMS, so the OWASP Conference Management System. So you fill out the form and you submit it, and then the operational staff will pick it up and will publish it in the OWASP agenda, and it will be much more visible. And at the same time, there's going to be some tracking at OWASP of your event. So if contract needs to be signed, etc., you will have the support of the foundation, right? Yeah.
There were some changes to OCMS
Yeah.
last year or so.
Yeah.
I was supposed to ask to come back in a few months and ask again.
So the original OCMS was a homegrown program. I don't know if anybody remembers Mark Bristow. He did a tremendous job of raising our conferences just to the next level. He did a great job, and he developed this program that took the information in and then automatically posted it on the wiki, and it was fabulous. But then Mark Bristow decided to get married and have kids, and it broke, and nobody knew how to fix it because Mark designed it. So we use Salesforce as our CRM platform, and we have a tool within there that we can build external forms, and then the information comes back into us. And so there is a bit of a manual process to get it posted on the wiki, but that's why it changed a little bit.
But still, the OCMS, it's there, right? So you could submit your event, and it will be picked up by yourself.
Yeah, he said it's different because it's a different form.
The first time I was looking at it, I sent something in, but didn't get really a response. I said, somebody was replying and saying, "Oh, yes, we're in the process changing it. Please come back." Because before there was a process, you just put something in, then the form.
When was this? Last week?
No.
When was it?
When was it?
Yeah, I'm just curious because we do have a pretty good process to.
August last year or so. was just submitting the German OS Day 2014.
Mm-hmm.
That probably was an exception to the rule, because usually, like if you follow this OCMS system and you fill out all the details and you submit the request, you will get a response. And maybe something went wrong with that particular request, but
We saw it was from Germany, and we just.
We implemented that Dirk filter.
I know. We have a bot for that, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say? No, I don't remember the specific event or what happened, and I don't have any recollection of any issues. So if something got missed, my apologies.
Yeah.
We do have workflow rules and we do have processes in place. Yeah, I'm not sure. We do have pretty good workflow rules and a process in place for events.
Okay.
We also have it for chapters. We also have it for reimbursement requests. So we try to put at the operational level, we try to put checks and balances is. So if I'm out sick, somebody can back me up. You know, it's not just one person. So we try to work as a team to make sure that everything gets addressed. So I'd have to look back to see what happened to this specific event. Well, now I'm curious because I don't like anomalies.
Excuse me, do you have a formal distinction between what a training day is and a conference? You mentioned there's a different pricing model on that.
Sure. You want to talk to that, Fabio?
To what? The
What's the difference
handbook?
between a training day and a conference day?
Well, like a training day is like inviting someone or having a couple of speakers doing a couple of talks, and you send out the invite, etc. And it's an open and free event, and it's like
That's an OWASP day. He said training day, but he meant OWASP day.
So you said training day earlier.
no, but then
Yeah.
well, the training day, like I think the model that there is a model that we established, and Dennis ran this activity for a couple of years back in 2011, 2012.
Couple months.
Yeah, so it was basically, if you're an OWASP member, it was like a full day of OWASP talks. So we brought like OWASP speakers from various regions, and they were all OWASP talks. And if you were an OWASP member, so you had to pay the OWASP membership fee, then you would get into the event. And they were quite popular, and there was like a sort of cross collaboration, you know, especially in Europe, and they did in the States as well, right? So it was great. It was sort of an OWASP activity, and you could listen about, you know, or learn the latest about, I don't know, OpenSAM, SAP, etc. So the main OWASP projects.
Just one thing. It was free for OWASP members.
Yes.
But it wasn't closed. The way you said it made me think that nobody else got in. It was free for OWASP members, but if you weren't an OWASP member and you didn't want to become one, then you could pay $50 to get in.
Yeah.
So.
Which effectively is the same.
Is
You
the cost
you
of
pay the
OWASP.
membership.
Yeah, you just don't want to be a member.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it was open. It's an open model.
Yeah. And then there are like the other sort of what's called the regional events that you could run, say, a training day plus like a conference. It's like the typical, you know, OWASP conference, AppSec conference, that you have 1 day of training and 1 day of conference. And those are sort of, you know, obviously channeled through the foundation. So there is a control, you know, of, you know, the foundation in terms of the sort of contracts, etc. But at the same time, the training, you might bring in like a, you know, an official trainer or like a well-respected trainer, professional trainer. They will deliver a training, and the fees then are split between the foundation, the trainer, and the chapter. So
What is the percentage of that?
it's the 60-40 model. So 60% for the foundation, 40% for the trainer, and out of those 60% is the 90-10 rule. So 90% will go to the chapter, and 10% will go to the foundation.
That's if it's a local run event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the foundation runs the event, then the 90-10 wouldn't apply so much. It would be a little bit different, but But that's the, if you decided to do it, and all we had to do was support it, with the system. That's what that means. And like the LATAM tour was essentially
a series of
10 little conferences,
Yeah.
training day and a conference
training
day,
conference,
in
yeah.
about a 2-week period. And so that's
3.
an example, huh?
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
That's an example of how you can do it at a regional level, because we do the LATAM tour, and we have an APAC tour where they do a lot of stops and a lot of the same in a very compressed period of time.
We could have a European tour if the European chapters are up for it. We've done it in the past. We've done it in, was it 2011?
I don't know. It's a blur.
Yeah. So.
Do we have classification of chapters like Caribbean? Because like Curacao is being classified under Latin America, but to be honest, we do not fall under Latin America.
Where would you like to be?
Caribbean.
So,
Caribbean means the Caribbean islands.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have like ABC Islands, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, St. Martin, St. Lucia.
Yeah. I think the way we have it set up now is just kind of, it's just the way it was set up. I understand what you're saying, and I can take that back. I have no problem with it. It's just breaking out another section.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I don't know Latin America, but do we have other islands that are part of us, like St. Lucia or I don't think San Martin. I don't think it's we have a chapter in Aruba. And those are the small islands, but there are a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Dominican Republic, that
yeah.
would be Caribbean.
Yeah.
So Dominican Republic will be Caribbean. You see that zone is really considered the Caribbean.
All right.
Puerto Rico too.
Can you do me a favor?
Huh?
Can you do me a favor? Can you send an email to Noreen and copy me with that request or suggestion?
All right.
And then we'll make it happen.
It will help.
And it's not a problem. It's just we've this is the way it was done, because at the time we had no need for anything else. So we kind of take the Europe, the APAC, the US, or the North America, the South America, and the MENA region. So those are kind of the big.
Yeah.
But
doable.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
To break it out, I don't mind.
Yeah, because when you said Caribbean, there are many conferences going on.
That's
in the Caribbean.
That's fantastic. It's just not ever been brought up before.
Oh, that's true.
So
we're a minority. So.
And, well, maybe you're not. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any minorities in the OWASP community, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's good.
So definitely send an email to Noreen and copy me and make sure it gets through. And I don't see any objections, but it's Noreen's call.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody else feel misclassified?
Now that you mention it.
We're not. Oh, okay. Bad comment. I'm. Any other questions about the training or the events or revenue or funding or how to ask for money and who to ask and where to ask and what to do? Yes. There's actually a heading called "How to Start a Chapter," and it's just like the OCMS form. We have an input that you'll put information in about you and why do you want to start a chapter, where's your chapter, and then we have processes in place where that goes through and the chapter gets set up.
And can I start a chapter in my city specifically, which is already a chapter for my family?
One of the things we do look at is geographic proximity. So I don't know off the top of my head where you are and what's right next to you, but if it's like within 10 miles or so, maybe we would want to consolidate into one chapter, kind of like Joanna does with the projects, right? If there's a project that is very similar to another project, we try to encourage collaboration rather than start something else fresh. Kind of the power of us. But like in my area, I know there's DC and Northern Virginia. Geographically, they're probably not more than 15 miles apart. But in the DC metro area, 15 miles is about a 3-hour drive. So in that situation, you know, you've got a pretty close proximity, but because of just the way the area is, it makes sense to have. And I know New York is the same, right? There's New York, Long Island, New Jersey, Brooklyn, it's the newest. So yeah, it just depends on the area and you know. Did that answer your question? Yeah. What else? I know you have another question. Anything else?
Something else I can add. From earlier, you guys were talking about remote events. Something that helps me in training stuff like I don't know exactly what it is before. Just like you go on like Linux user group mailing lists in the area, especially if the university area, and just announce on there because people, especially sysadmins, are always interested in security and their own paranoid. And also like there's like developer specific mailing lists at your university in the area, maybe like a Python user group or a Java user group or whatever, just saying something new there, and you always get lots of reaction. And also another thing I want to add is like sometimes it's actually good if you're training to put a cap, like a limit on how many people can come. Because it's almost like as soon as there's some kind of exclusivity, then people feel like, but I have to come, like I have to honestly be like only 10 people can come, and I really want to be there. So that makes it almost like people want to be there more. Yeah.
Just to that point, we do try to keep things open, but you're absolutely right. There are times where you need to limit the number of attendees just because of space. I know for training here, we had a couple of classes. Mario's class shut down, 8 weeks ago, just because it reached the maximum number of students that one trainer could handle. So the training is very much controlled by what the trainer can do and your space availability. What else? We have some.
I have the impression that US chapter meetings are coming way more people.
I don't think.
DC, but for example,
well,
in the city, maybe like 100 people are joining the chapter meeting.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't see that. There are some chapters in the U.S. that maybe have 5 or 6 people. New York is the exception. They're gigantic, and L.A. is big, but the majority of the chapters in the U.S. I don't think have maybe 50 people.
Austin's pretty successful, and they average probably 30 to 40 on a regular basis. Some of them, you get a really big speaker, obviously, the thing goes up, but on average, Austin was probably
on average in
30
Belgium, you have 80 people. You have a chapter meeting of 100.
So I
Belgium is small, so there are less people in Belgium than Germany.
yeah, I would actually almost argue the opposite.
So that's true. It's a dense area. Yeah. Also,
yeah. So I would almost argue the opposite. I don't think that I would hear more about the European chapters.
Okay. Well, this was only my perception. Maybe I was looking at the wrong chapters.
It would be really great to get some sort of measurement tool for that. If anybody has any ideas on, do we want to send a survey out to the chapter leaders? I know that's been talked about. How's your chapter doing? What's your average number of attendees? What is your biggest challenge? And then, we do have a chapter leader mailing list. We can definitely
report each event after the event how many people came.
So events that go through the OCMS system, we know where they are, we know how many are expected, but unless the foundation runs the registration system, we have no idea how many actually showed up. So, and I don't know that we need to put another requirement for people to report, because, I got the impression, the word policing, I don't like I don't like to hear that from anybody, because that's not what we try to do. We try to support.
Yeah.
So I don't know we want to put any other requirements, because it's pretty cumbersome for us.
So we were in Egypt. We have a case. So most of the students are, most of the attendees are students.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a phenomenon. The latest event. The first event had a lot of professionals.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great event. Then after successive events, it started to collect students, and they're asking for support. What are you going to offer us? So you're going to offer us assistance and graduation projects. What are you going to do for us? It's like that. Only a couple of professionals were there. Well, most of them are students, undergrads.
You need to connect with this guy who runs the student chapter program. It sounds like you have enough interest to create a student chapter for your students, and then a professional chapter for the professionals. And ideally, there's a collaboration and a mentorship between the two, but it kind of helps, so that the professionals don't feel it's just a bunch of college kids, and the college kids don't feel, well, I'm going to go here because then I can get a job with Microsoft, that kind of thing. So it just kind of helps keep the two together but separate. That help? And he can help you set up a student chapter. That's a good one.
Yeah. Could be a good idea, because mainly for students, like more basic info, so the pros are not attending.
Mm-hmm.
And, the first one was nice, so included some advanced talks. And,
mm-hmm. So that's a good point, because when you're getting a speaker, you have to consider your audience, right? Yeah. So you wouldn't want a speaker way over the students' heads or way beneath the skill level of the others attending. That's a good point. What else? Oh, come on.
Quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned that you had many students your last event who were asking how you can help them graduate, how you can help them with their studies. Did you know that we had like winter code sprint event, and we're in the process of trying to launch a summer code sprint event too, which is especially for students and especially to try to help them graduate?
No, I didn't know about this. Actually, the leader is Mohammed Al-Fatah. He told us that there is like a support that will be given from a WASP for graduation projects if the topic is the graduation project in the field of AppSec, and the professor included the topic in his subject. So here's something like that. So that's what the students were talking about. Well, I didn't know about the culture of the summer.
Cool. No, I just asked because because I'm trying to get involved with this and trying to find out how we can promote this in our marketing.
Yeah, I think it will work well, because in the last event, like 99% were students.
Yeah. That's great.
We do have a lot of online training tools too. You have your project, and then I know that there are a lot of different online tools that the students really enjoy accessing. So maybe we need to do a special write-up on all of the tools and resources and cool things we have for students. Yeah, Mr. Student Chapter Leader. Yeah, maybe we need to do some more socializing about what we have available for students. Yeah.
My experience when communicating through mailing list is that most people don't read. For some people, they are not subscribed to the mailing list. Really. So because I am aware of the winter of code, because I'm in the mailing list, but when you speak to people, you notice that, oh no, I never read that. They are not like getting up to date. So what I am doing now is communicating directly to the emails I, because I noticed that they do not. They are, for some reason, sometimes they unsubscribe from the list or something happened, and then you hear suddenly that they don't have an idea what's going on.
Well, you know, we do put out the connector at least once a month, the newsletter.
Some people are not.
I know. I know exactly what you're saying. You know, we try to communicate on a lot of different levels. We have the connector, we have the blog. Noreen has a separate chapter leader announcement that goes out every month. We also leverage social media like Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. You know, we have a foundation Facebook page because different people communicate in different ways, especially in a global community. Because even regionally, you see a big difference in, you know, this region is Facebook, this region is mailing list, and so I hear what you're saying loud and clear, and I'm all for. How do we communicate? What would
I
work?
think we are doing the right thing. Don't spread me wrong. It's just like for some reason, and what is the reason exactly? I don't understand it either, to be honest. Is that we are trying to communicate things, and for some reason, we expect that people will be reached this way. And then I always get surprised that when I speak to you, did you read about it? Did you about? Nobody knows. Nobody read. Maybe it's this overwhelm of information that people are not keeping track of everything what's going on. But what I notice is very effective the moment I take that email from that person and then I email that person directly. Then I'm like reaching. So I'm just saying that it won't surprise me that
it would be really hard to see BCC 46,000 people, but I could give it a try. I think also that, you brought up a good point, because everyone in here should be on the leaders list. And we do push a lot of news out to the leaders list. I know some people have just filtered it to their spam box, but don't do it because that's sort of creating the scenario she's talking about. And I would hope that as a chapter leader, you would feel one of your responsibilities is to keep your chapter members up to date as to what's going on. So as a leader, you kind of need to read those emails and read the connector and ask questions, because then you can take that back to your local chapter. And I think that also helps to spread the mission and keep everybody informed.
Sorry, one of the trade-offs there though is that, for instance, the chapter leaders mailing list, it gets very discussion-y. So as the gentleman was saying, there's a lot of information. You know, a lot of time people skip over. That's true also about the chapter lists. So maybe it might make sense to have two different lists: one for discussions and another one for announcements.
Or Slack.
Or Slack. Or Slack.
Oh, Slack is great.
Yeah. We've actually tried a couple different things to try to solve that problem. That is a huge problem, and I understand. That's why we try to also digest some things on the blog and in the connector, so that if you are one of those people who has it filtering to your spam box, then there are other ways for you to get the information. And so that's why we try to use the different pieces. Yes?
And then I just like us to ask a question, but it relates to chapters. I want to know if you are planning on running an AppSec African conference.
Yes. Talk to that guy who's working with his chapter leader, and we actually have one of the guys from India who ran AppSec India and really grew that region, just moved to the MENA region. And so I know that there's a lot of conversation going on right now about having an AppSec in that region.
Yeah, well, if you are planning on doing it, I can
That'd be great. Yeah, definitely get in touch and send me a note afterwards if you don't get your answers here, and then I can help connect you with the people who are engaged. But that'd be great. Yeah, that is the Africa region is definitely one that has been a focus recently. I don't know. Theo in Ghana has done an event the last couple of years. He didn't do it last year because of Ebola, but he's done a good job, and so yeah, we're really trying to get activity in that area.
We got a question here from Rija. Is it okay to have a student chapter under a local chapter?
Under a local chapter.
Hmm.
So student chapters, I guess anything's possible, and it just needs to be sort of clearly outlined. Right now, the way the normal structure, if anything's normal in OWASP, is that student chapters are affiliated with a university, right? And then there is a local chapter who works with the student chapter as well as the university, and it's kind of like a collaborative effort. I don't know that having a student chapter under a chapter, but rather being mentored by a professional chapter is probably a better way to put it. Spiros, I know that Greece had a couple of different, there was a student chapter that the Greek chapter was very involved in, right?
Yeah, pretty much one of the.
And that's how you got hooked.
One of the things that we did was one of the culture of the Greek chapter was like the professor who started the student chapter.
Right.
So there was much cross pollination between the two chapters.
Okay.
But yeah, I think student chapters, they need to be mentored, and I think that's how they benefit
from the local chapter.
From the local chapter, yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
What else? I know when I sent out my invitation, I said we'd go till 8 o'clock. Yeah. It's 1:15, and I heard there was a bar outing at 9. I know. I don't know any of the details. Call Owen.
9 o'clock at the strand site.
Yeah, there's at 9 o'clock. The idea is to go to what is called strand zet.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it is.
This is just after the red carpet. You will see a fake beach, but
Oh, the fake beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So, party at the fake beach.
Pre-conference drink.
Okay.
So, if there's something that you wanted to ask but didn't, send me an email. Does everybody have my email? I'll put mine down. Start with one of us, and if we can't help you, we know a lot of people that probably can. So it's our job to connect you. We don't know everything, honestly, believe it or not. But what we do is we know people who know everything. So I'll tell you, Siba, I have said that I work with some of the most brilliant people, the most brilliant minds in the world are in this organization. And I'm always amazed at the ideas and the energy and the passion and just the things that you guys do for the organization blows me away. That's why I've been here so long. But if we don't know how to help you, we know people who know how to help you. And that's what OWASP is all about. So start with us, and we'll get you set up. Anything else? Hi, Antonio. Welcome. Okay, if there are no other questions, you have my contact and Noreen's contact, and see you tomorrow bright and early. Right?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
This one leftover guys. I feel like I brought some back.
You know what?
All right.
I took one from the last budget. I know.
No,
So
no,
where's
no.
the pitch?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They don't have-
Yeah, yeah, yeah.